Okay, we're going to talk about the Florida Amendment 1. It's 2016 October, and it's regarding the solar panels and being able to install them in your home, and why you should vote no on this, even though it initially sounds good. There's been a couple of articles about it. But this is my write-in ballot here in Florida, and I'll go ahead and read it. Rights of electricity consumers regarding solar energy choice. This amendment establishes a right under Florida's Constitution for consumers to own or lease solar equipment installed on their property to generate electricity for their own use. That sounds good, right? State and local governments shall retain their abilities to protect consumers' rights and public health, safety, and welfare, and to ensure that consumers who do not choose to install solar panels. All right, we'll get back to that in a second. So the first part where it says it's an amendment to give you the right to own or lease solar equipment installed on your property. Well, that's actually already an approved law in the state of Florida, so it's redundant. They are saying that they're giving you something that you already have the right to. And then they throw up all these bells and whistles to try to say, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. But if you keep reading further, we'll talk about why it's bad. Okay, and then it says, who do not choose to install solar are not required to subsidize the cost of backup power and electric grid access to those who do. The amendment is not expected to result in an increase or decrease in any revenues or costs to the state or local government. I don't know if that's true. I sort of doubt that's actually true. But what this basically is, I'm sure you might have heard about it, but people who have a lot of money, let's say 10 years ago, but now it's increasing, where when you install a solar panel on your home, what it does is it gives you have the ability to store energy that way. And what happens is the excess amount of energy that you are obtaining from the sun, and it exceeds your needs for your home, will actually go back into the grid and provide other people with electricity that would normally be using, Duke Energy or any of these other companies in the state of Florida who provide energy. And of course they use natural gas, coal. I think there might be some that use nuclear. But the thing is that they are using that excess amount of solar energy to go to these other homes, if the houses are using solar. Well, what the power companies would do is they would credit and maybe even actually send a check to the people who own solar panels in order to compensate them for the excess amount of energy that they're getting. Well, this basically bill says that they don't have to do that anymore. Or if you're a consumer, you could say, oh, I'm not going to let them do that anymore. Well, it's not hurting the other consumers, the other people that are getting electricity. The only thing it's doing is it's helping the electric companies, because then they don't have to pay the solar panel homeowners their energy. Now, that's bull, because they pay a lot of money for those solar panels, and I've heard that it could take up to 15 to 20 years to offset the cost of the solar panels, and eventually, after 15 and 20 years, they get caught up and they're able to pay it, and it's worth the investment. But if they put this law into place, then that means that the power companies like Duke Energy or whoever, they don't have to pay that excess amount of energy. And then, so what's the incentive to get solar panel if you're not going to get compensated for it? You might as well just use the regular power companies when they use coal and all that crap, which in turn is bad for the environment. It decreases demand because you're not going to be more likely to buy a solar panel. The energy companies love it because then they keep you as a customer if you don't have solar panel. They'll be able to sell you gas and coal and all that, and you can keep their business. But if everybody starts getting solar in the state of Florida, they're going to lose a lot of money. And I would probably venture to say the state of Florida will lose tax revenue, so I could almost see them not wanting it either. But it's good for the environment. Florida is a sun-heavy state, of course, and what happens is every I don't know how they measure it, but every barrel of natural gas or whatever measurement or coal that's not used in the state of Florida will decrease the demand for coal. It'll decrease the demand for natural gas, and so it'll be cheaper for people in New York, in North Dakota, in Canada, actually around the world. So it's a slippery slope. So what I'm basically saying is vote no on Amendment 2, because they're hoodwinking you and they're telling you it's something that it's not. So here we go. I want to go ahead and circle number 2. And let's see, right there. No. No on Amendment 2, Article X, Section 29 of a constitutional amendment to Florida. I feel like I'm Barack Obama here signing a veto. And I think they said in 2018 they're going to try the same thing again. Alright, thank you for watching.